everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing locksmithing again. So I have a customer that came in with a bunch of locks that they purchased elsewhere, and they want them all keyed alike, so that one key will work everything. So let's get going on it. Okay, so the customer came in with this little post-it note on there saying that he wants them all keyed the same. I went through the locks that he brought, and if you look right here, that code there, if you're buying them in the store, it is a code that Schlage uses to identify the key that's in there. Those aren't the actual cuts, it's not the code. Taking that number won't allow you to make a key. But I went through their locks that they brought, and this lock here has the same code on it. So this particular deadbolt is keyed the same to the other one that they brought in, as opposed to this deadbolt. So you can see that this number is different. So this deadbolt is keyed differently than the other two. So because you have this one keyed the same, I can save them some money by not rekeying it because it's already keyed the same. So it's something you just kind of look out for. If they had mistakenly made copies of this key, then everything would have been keyed. So basically I'm able to save them the rekeying of one lock. And there's also levers that they brought in. So there's deadbolts and levers that need to be keyed to one key, so everything works the same. So let's just get these apart. And we've done the keying before. So this is different than master keying. Master keying would be multiple keys working the same lock. This is keying alike, so it's one key working multiple locks. So there won't be any master pins in these locks here. All right. And in the last time, I was saying numbers when I was talking about the lock that's cut so you can see how it works. So basically that's these numbers here on this original key, this 48227. That corresponds to how deep a cut these are, which then corresponds to the pin length. So you can see on here there's a black marker. That is the pins for a Schlage. We do so many of them, we just marked it off like that. So right here, this here is the manufacturer's depths and space. Well, the depths. So a 0 pin would be a 0.165, 1 would be 0.180, going all the way down to a 9 is 0.300. Now the master pins, so the minimum you can have on a Schlage is a 2. You can't have a 1, and obviously there's no 0 master pin. versus some, like the Corbin Russ one, you can have a one cut difference. So that a top master pin for Corbin Russwin number 1 is a 0.27. So when you look at the pins, so a 0.27 would be this pin right here. So sorry about the glare. So 0.27, you can see right there would correspond to that. 0.30 is that one there for the Schleg. So when I was saying the numbers, that's what it was corresponding to, was the depth of cut on the key. So let's get you situated back up here. All right, and let's get going. Let's knock these out. 48227. Four, 8227. Key works. Again, put your thumb against the face of the lock so you can pull the key out. I do that just so that the cylinder doesn't try and spin as I'm trying to put the clip back on the end of the lock. You can do it with the key in there. I find it just a little bulky, and that's why I do the thumb trick, pull the key out, and then everything is locked and secure. And you drop that back in the lock, the handle, put the key in, and it goes back on, and it snaps on, and you're good to go. And let's just get all these keyed up. Alright, so apparently this one, this is that other deadbolt that I said had a different number. It is also keyed the same. So someone has been in there. The package keys weren't in their little spot that they normally are. Everything's been disturbed, so someone's been into this lock previously. So this lock again is all set, so I do not need to key this one. So saves the customer a little bit, even more money. So someone's been into all these locks. Everything, like I said, is out of place, but this one is not keyed to the deadbolts, so we will get this one keyed. And there's different ways to take this clip off. What I find the easiest is I take my thumb, put it to hold this end of the clip, and then I just take a key, and it has the groove on this side, so it will allow it to go into the groove of the core, and I just push it up a little bit, and then I'll hook it with a tooth on the key, and it pops right out. Okay, so four, 8, 2, 2, 7. And then I like, whenever possible, is you put the working key in there. It makes all the pins flush with the top. Remember what I was saying? So see how that pops up when the wrong key is there. So where this and this meet is, if you remember, the shear line. So when you have the correct key in there, they all line up with the top, and had a number 1 in the 2 spot, so there we go. It's a good thing I checked. So you always want to check, and when you put the key back in, if possible, have the working key. It isn't always possible when you're master keying, because the master key and it's called a change key, the other key that works, a lock that's master pinned, they could be different lengths. So one chamber, when one key is in, maybe high, and so you can't always put the key in. So when you're doing that, you have to be a lot more cautious when you slide the cylinder together. But this way, when you slide it in, it slides in, and none of your top pins fall into the holes. If you were to slide that in without a key in it, and the pins weren't up at the shear line, then when you came to the first top pin, the spring would push it down into the hole, and you'd have to tear the entire cylinder apart in order to pull it apart, because you wouldn't be able to get the key in, because the key in, the pin in the hole next to the one that dropped into the top pin dropped into, as you put the key in, that pin would push up and it would hit the housing here, and it wouldn't go up high enough to allow the key underneath it, to allow you to get the key to be able to pull that pin out. So just something to keep in mind. If it's master keyed and you have to put the cylinder back together, you have to be very conscious of where the holes are, so that you don't drop the top pins into the holes until it's all the way in, and then you can rotate it, drop everything, and it locks itself up. this is the last one. And so you see me putting the key in and turning it. So see how this is kind of a football shaped? So when you put the key in and turn it, it goes from being the wide point here to the narrow point here. And then when you see me pushing or taking a tool, and this little wedge right here, that pushes down. That pushes down, and that's what holds the handle on. So when the cylinder is in, like that, the long football, is preventing this from pushing in. So you turn the key so that the narrow point is there, so that you're able to push the retaining wedge in, and allows the handle to slide off. So this is the last lock. And as a general rule, most locksmiths deal with so many numbers that if you were to ask them how something is keyed, or like I'll go and I'll change a safe combo or whatever, and because you deal with so many numbers, those numbers aren't really saved, in at least not in my memory. So like, say I changed your safe combo, and then 2 days later you said, oh, I forgot the combo, what is it? I wouldn't be able to tell you. So it's just, you deal with enough numbers and they're not important to keep. So it's not like you're remembering your grandmother's phone number. It's just a random number that you dealt with at that moment in time. All right, so that's those locks keyed up. They're all now work with this one key. So I'll give the customer a call and tell them that they're all set and ready to be picked up.